We're standing in the back hallway of our studio project. We're going to get to the news here in a second. It's very important, but we're going to show you some things tonight that we've been working on for quite some time. When I told you about the American Dream Lab, that was back in January of this year. That was probably the first time that you but it was something that happened early on. Something that it came to me a few years ago. It actually happened just a few days after we left the Lincoln Memorial for Restoring Honor. After we held the Restoring Honor event in Washington, D.C., I got on a train, went back to New York, and then went on vacation with my family. And I went to this little town called Driggs, Idaho. If you ever want to go do fly fishing, it is the place to go fly fishing. But it was on that vacation that I had I thought a pretty big idea. I returned with a big idea called the American Dream Labs. The idea was to transform an entire town. Driggs had fallen on some hard times, and they're good people there, and just a great farming community. I thought if we could encourage entrepreneurs, if we could change education and show America that if you just pull together, there'd be real hope for real transformation that would make a real difference. And I met with Stephen Dubner and some great business minds all around the world, and came up for the plan, the American Dream Labs. And I drew that logo up on my, I don't know, Tiffany, if we have the logo available, but I drew it up on my window that overlooks the Empire State Building in Washington, or in New York City, and it's still there on my window. 2 years ago, little did I know that my dreams weren't big enough. That brings us to today. Today we're going to open up these doors and go into the studio where we're beginning to use phase one. The mission is no longer to transform a single town, but an entire world. And we have many ways to do it. But we have to put things in its proper place. We have to restore certain things. We have to draw a line in the sand and take some things back. And we'll begin that tonight with phase one. We're going to not do it with just one town. We're going to do it, as I've said many times, one man, one town, one nation at a time. Tonight I want to take you, if you will. This will probably be the only time that you'll go through this way. But it's a pretty large place. It's mostly unfinished yet. As I said to you, there's a lot yet to be done. But you will see me every night start here and say these words: "Hello, America," and welcome to the Glenn Beck program and to GBTV. This is the beginning of the American Dream Lab. I'll show you around a little bit tonight. You'll see more in the coming days. I was supposed to be on vacation last week, and I was, and I think there was about a good 10 hours that I stayed away from work in the computer. My wife yelled at me an awful lot, but we are building a studio and a network, and we're trying to transform a nation. We haven't actually pulled out a tape measure yet, but I think this may be the largest television studio online today. And I want you to know that's not an ego thing. That's because we're building a network. In our old studio that we were just out in front of, Studio C, this is Studio A. Today we are building the interior of the pilgrim ship that John Winthrop sailed in, the Arabella. I'll tell you why we're building that at a later date. But we're doing all of these things all at once because we are running out of time. The time for action is now. We've tried sitting around hoping for the magic solution fairy to come and grace us with their presence, but that hasn't saved us. It hasn't worked. What you're seeing being built here is a place all about action. We are going to unveil a few things within 7 weeks that will truly activate a sleeping giant, because I truly believe you are the key.
GBTV. The truth lives here.